Good evening and welcome to the programme. I'm Alice Bandukravi. As we've been hearing, today the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, delivered her spring statement setting out growth estimates, investment and cuts to certain budgets. Among the announcements, there was confirmation that some disability benefits would be cut and that fewer people would be eligible for them in the future. But absent from the Chancellor's statement was any announcement on council funding at a time when many local authorities in the capital are struggling. Our political editor, Carl Mercer, has more.
This is what it looked like on Downing Street this morning.
Don't cut PIP!
Tax the rich!
And this is what it looked and sounded like outside. Disability campaigners making the Prime Minister well aware of their feelings as he left for Parliament this morning. The government's plans to cut some disability benefits, known as personal independence payments, were trailed last week and confirmed today.
I think the proposals to change the eligibility to PIP are going to be catastrophic for disabled people. I think thousands, if not millions, of disabled people are going to be pushed further into hardship or poverty. I think the effect on people's lives is... I know that people make the case that these are about savings, but if you don't give people the minimum amount that they need to get by, you see that those costs are just shifted elsewhere to things like councils and the NHS and housing.
We can't go in there because it's not accessible for wheelchairs.
It's unsafe
We're marching down to meet the housing movement.
Hundreds of protesters then made their way down Whitehall as the Chancellor defended the government's plans.
This government inherited a broken system. More than 1,000 people every day are qualifying for personal independence payments. 1 in 8 young people are not in employment, education or training. If we do nothing, we are writing off an entire generation. That cannot be right, and we will not stand for it.
They're going to put more strain on the NHS, more strain on the care system, more strain on things, because essentially what you're doing is cutting the money that people use to get to work, to access work, and therefore people are not going to be able to get to work, not going to be able to live safely, and therefore we'll need the care system more, we'll need the NHS more, we'll need other services more. So it's a false economy in my opinion.
Others watching today's statement include London's 33 councils. 7 have already had to be bailed out by central government. They may have to wait until June's spending review to find out their financial fate.
We are asking the government to use the comprehensive spending review and the upcoming reforms on local government finance to stabilise finances. If we don't do that, we are at risk of more councils going under. And that undermines economic confidence, and that also costs us all more in the long run, and no one wants to see that happen.
A warning then for the Chancellor, already aware of the impact her cuts are having on thousands in the capital.
Well, Carl is here with me now. Carl, do we know how many Londoners are going to be affected by some of these cuts?
Yeah, well, the government's own assessment says something like 250,000 people will be put into relative poverty. That's across the whole of the country. So that means there will be tens of thousands of Londoners, plus the tens of thousands who are going to lose money over their personal independence payments also. There are some other key dates as well if we're talking about Londoners losing money. April the 1st, water, energy, council tax bills start going up. April the 6th, those national insurance contribution changes that the government announced in the autumn statement also start coming through, means businesses will be paying more.
And we know, Carl, don't we, that local authorities are really stretched for cash, but they're going to have to wait a bit longer to find out their fate.
Yeah, they are. Everyone's looking towards something called the comprehensive spending review, basically where the government will set out its long-term spending plans for the next 3 to 5 years. So the mayor, local councils, the police in London, all looking at it, Transport for London saying, look, give us more money for projects, yes, but also give us long-term funding plans, not the annual money that you hand out at the moment makes it difficult for us to plan. We want 3 or 5 year plans so we can maybe spend more money on bigger projects.
And I'm sure we'll be hearing much more about that